This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Good evening and welcome to We the People. Ahead of India's 65th Independence Day, we're going to see the normal invocations of our freedom fighters, especially of Mahatma Gandhi. But Gandhi seems to dominate the headlines for more reasons than one these days. In his name, there are now all manners of protests. The most recent and the most current, of course, being Anna Hazare, who this week is calling his protest a second freedom struggle. Time was when Mahatma Gandhi was perhaps the only leader considered to be visionary enough to actually call his fast unto death a Satyagraha. All of our histories and our understanding of history have been shaped and formed by Gandhi's famous fasts unto death. He undertook 15 of them in his lifetime, but they were almost always not against individuals, but for causes, for specific issues, for specific watersheds in India's freedom struggle. Now, of course, fast unto death is almost synonymously associated these days with the clash between Anna Hazare, Baba Ramdev and the UPA. As we look at Anna Hazare, we seem to forget that there are other corners of India where there are fasts as well. The longest running fast unto death, in fact, has been in one corner of India's northeast. Irom Sharmila, a young woman who is asking for the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Manipur. Why does Irom Sharmila not gather the kind of headlines that Anna Hazare does? Is the media culpable? Has fasting now become something which occupies urban headlines only because the current issue relates to the middle class? Is there a class bias in how we respond to fasts? On We the People today, we look at an India that's fast and furious and ask whether fasts are in fact about a Gandhian method of protest or whether they're in danger of becoming theatrical. Let me start with Tavleen Singh. Tavleen, if I can bring you in, because your position, from what I understand in your writings, is an interesting one. You certainly have no sympathy for the position that the UPA finds itself in. The governance deficit is real, the issues of corruption are real, but you have no patience either for the Anna Hazare campaign. Why is that?
Because I think that what Anna is trying to do is to force a law down our throats, the efficacy of which we're not sure of. And it's the wrong way to do it, because laws should not be made in Jantar Mantar Road, but in Parliament. So if Anna wants to make this law, for a start, I don't believe that the Lokpal is going to make any difference, right? But I just think that it's wrong to try and take a huge issue like corruption, reduce it to creating a new bureaucracy with a Lokpal at the head of it, and then trying to force down the throat of Parliament and the country a bill that we don't know is going to make a difference.
This notion of the fast as a metaphor for protest, as a metaphor, as a symbol of popular anger, do you believe that this is a potent weapon, or do you believe that this is a weapon that's now becoming increasingly misused?
I think it's a farce.
A farce?
A farce.
Why?
Because I really believe that what Gandhiji was doing against a colonial power, he was inventing a new idea of protest, which has stayed with us, a non-violent idea. But this government is not shooting Anna's supporters. It isn't a colonial power. It's our own government. This is a democracy. And what they've done, which I really object to, is to reduce Indian democracy to a farce. Because actually they have the right to get elected. They have the right to protest. They have a better way of doing this. But to say, if you don't pass my bill, I'm going to fast unto death, well, maybe he should be allowed to.
That's a very, very strong phrase. Anupam, you heard what Tavleen said just now. I know that you are an overt supporter of the campaign. What would you say, Anupam, to Tavleen Singh?
Well, I will say to Tavleen Singh that I personally have great regards for her writing, but I think she, week after week, writes on issues which she does not agree on. Why doesn't she get into Parliament and sort of then solve those problems? Everybody has their own ways of going about it, and this is a way which was taught to us by the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was fighting, and so many other freedom fighters were fighting against Britishers because we thought that they did not deserve to rule us, and we wanted freedom.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.